Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. You can feel the power of this in this joining together, how there's no place to go other than up, and how the blessings flow when we're together. Such a beautiful joining today. And to hear everyone speak Jesus and how available that great love is to us. I see Dyra's assistant is in full swing there, helping with the translation. They know. And so they come to assist. So we've been looking, I feel like I'm tilted. See if that works. I just hold my head sideways. So I've looked at a lot of desires over the last few days. I know here, Renee, Kelly, and Rita have been taking a deep dive into chapter 20. And the comment came up about several times that beings aren't quite seeing yet that real wanting. Just stay with it, you know, the real admission of how we do want to play with the no, to be a little no factory. And just you'll see as you develop that relationship with Jesus and you keep asking him and spending time with him, he'll reveal what you need to see. And we can see it in these joining sessions, how specific it is. And how specific it really needs to be. And it helps us focus on that one voice rather than all the other voices. The voices that would tell us that there's something better to do. Something more valuable. And we can ask Jesus now and hear it in our heart. Is there anything more valuable than the discovery and the celebration of infinite? Can a single second be better spent than to look to see the divine light of being is already here? That's why it's the holy instant. Set aside every idea, every thought. And you can ask Jesus, Jesus, do I have all the power I need to set aside all thoughts, feelings, and motions? I love that. Papa G would say that. Just give it a second. Just a second, like just a little crack in the door. The teeniest, tiny little crack in the door. Would you spend a second? To see that the light is already here. Yet we need to see it over and over and over and over and over. It seems like that until we accept divine power, that is us. That is what is, there are no words for it. What's an us? It doesn't even know what an us is. Does the light know what us is? It has one setting, infinite. See that it doesn't include anything or exclude anything. That doesn't really seem very happy to a sense of personal identity. That doesn't seem a good sense of time whatsoever to be personal identity. See, does a personal identity exist in infinite light? Ask the light, is a personal identity a construction? Have I made that? Is that a miscreation? And Jesus is saying, that's a little tinker toy. You know how he says in the Course, time to put the tinker toys away? Just ask them, are all these concepts little tinker toys? Little fabrications. That's why he tells them, just telling you, it's just time to put them all away. Let's ask, here's a good question. I love these. I'm saying, Jesus, you're giving me these questions? Yes. Okay. Is fear a tinker toy? Asked Jesus. A tinker toy. It's a fabrication of the function with consciousness to pretend that something's happening when nothing's happening. You can ask Jesus, Jesus, is fear a pure fantasy? Can we find a way for fear not to be a fantasy in divine light of being? Pure fantasy. This is why this is so helpful, what he's offering. See that the play of consciousness is interpretive function. So if we have the light of infinite being, the light before all thoughts, feelings, and emotion, you could call it that. It's just helpful for a time because of the association with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. But you can ask Jesus, do I need to affiliate with thoughts, feelings, and emotions? See if he has that on his checklist of requirements. So the light doesn't know what this is. You can check in with the light. So consciousness is interpretive and likes to interpret. You can ask Jesus, is the light, is the consciousness like a little story manufacturer? He says that's how it just we put little storylines together and fabricate little tinker toys and attach them. He says, and that's what makes you feel like you're an object. So that's an interpretive function. In consciousness, its whole function is interpretation. Ask Jesus. Because see that the light's not interpreting anything. Is infinite light have an interpretive switch in there? It starts interpreting, or just is it there? See, this is the contrast between consciousness and light, pure infinite light. Unaffiliated, not involved. Not trying to construct a little tinker toy tower of power. It's helpful to see, because then we can see the play in consciousness and the desire to play tinker toy. You can ask Jesus, Jesus, is there a desire to play with tinker toys? Anything other than light is a tinker toy. You can ask him. Is anything other than light a tinker toy? That's what he means by the tiniest twitch. See that the light's not twitching. Such a good reminder. It's not recoiling. It's not attracted. It's not a magnet. See, there's no magnet in there where it's trying to stick to something. Like thoughts, you know how that feeling that thoughts are like sticking to you, like that? It's like, and you try to get away from it. Like you're really mad at somebody or something, and you go, I'm not going to think about them ever again. And there they are, just stuck. I'm not thinking, and then it's over, you turn your head, it's over here. I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna think about that ever again. There it is, it's like stuck. I want to be free. We're so adorable, really. So I asked Jesus about that, those thoughts. Jesus, are these desired? Are they appearing purely by my desire, my wishes? Do I do I have a desire? Do I feel deep in the subconscious mind that thoughts are delicious? They're the yummiest, best thing ever. Just ask. Jeez. So you can hear the yes. Okay. Till we really see that, the power of our own decision to play no with ourselves, we won't really ask Jesus for all the help we need. Because the play in consciousness is the I've got it figured out play card that pulls that out. Here's my trump card, Jesus. We can ask him, Jesus, do I have a desire that I know, for an experience that I know better than God? He said, You need to see it because otherwise it's really going to hurt. Like he said, today's lesson, I will not hurt myself today. So see that the light doesn't go back and keep a list of the number of times you hurt yourself today. The light doesn't count that. It doesn't see that. But as the dreamer in the dream state, the effects will be felt. The effects of the desire to dream will be felt. You can ask Jesus. Do I have a desire below my level of awareness to experience the effects of a dream? And then we have a place. Again, it's the starting. As he said, I love that reminder that's been coming in. We begin again, right here, right now, infinite. To see that infinite's here. And to see that the infinite is not pulling up a catalog, the Akashic record of everything you've ever done. Is it putting it right in front of you? Is infinite light putting that in front of you going, let me show you everything you ever did wrong? That's why we have to let Jesus be in charge of miracles. It's a must. Yes, I'm saying, Jesus, this is something critical to understand. He says unequivocally. We must have him in charge of the miracles. I will tell you which miracles to perform, because otherwise the missing of that point will extend out time. And when he's talking about that, to see how specific he is. So talk to him, because everyone can talk to him. I asked him, Jesus, are you saying you're going to be very specific on which miracles to perform? See how he's saying yes, very specific, very targeted. It's light training. It's really light training to focus on listening to the light and staying with the light, with the looking. Like glued. Staple yourself. Otherwise, the play, you'll just spin off into kerfuffle, into the asteroid belt. And just see how essential it is really to stay with him. Otherwise, you will feel fear. And he's really trying to offer, look, this is you don't need to be fearful of anything ever. You can ask him, Jesus, do I need to be fearful of anything? If you're listening to him, you won't be fearful. If you're refusing to listen to him, you'll be very fearful. But sometimes that's the play. It has to get excruciating. Before we'll actually listen to him consistently. So he says, give your doubts to me. Whatever they are, give your doubts to me. Do you have a doubt that you're going to ever wake up? Do I have a desire for experience below my level of awareness that it's going to be difficult or take a long time to wake up? I can never do it. That one over there can do it, but I'll never do it. Those are all desired experiences in consciousness. The desire to say no to divine light and extend out a timeline. We've all played it, the play. So he says, he says, when I am guiding you, stay very attentive. He's teaching us attentiveness. Really to be attentive. The number of times we will discombobulate what he will tell us are legion. So stay very attentive to what you're being asked to do. And you may be asked to do it through a brother. The brother may come. And to really listen and just see how many times you're given instructions. I mean, he doesn't hold it against it. He's just showing the coaching. It's like he told Helen, yes, I will come in kind of retroactively. And when you invite me in, explain it, show you where you kind of, he's just going to show us where we're missing the mark, where we're abdicating our own creativity, infinite light for where we saying no. So he will, you can ask him, okay, what about this, Jesus? And so he can teach you. So he can teach us where we're missing the mark. But the number of times, the buts. Well, I just thought that I could. And it's really important to follow explicitly. And if you're not hearing clearly, join with a mighty and clear out the thoughts so you can hear them clearly. That's a good time after the joining session. It's a good time to hear what his instructions are. Because a lot of the blocks have been cleared out. Then you can hear, okay, what are your instructions for me? Because the number of extras, sideways, no's, left, right, anything but what he told you. They're legion. I wouldn't underestimate those at all. Ask Jesus. The minute you underestimate them, you'll undermine yourself. And how much, obviously, that we need is help. So, again, he's reminding about listen to the instruction carefully and target. He's going to be very targeted. He keeps reminding me, for me, of the specificity. And stay with him on that one thing. But Jesus, what about this? Oh, there'll be times when you can just sit with him and ask him like a series of questions. You'll see it. What about this, Jesus? And you can have a little dialogue with him. And then other times it's going to be, okay, time to look. Let's look specifically. Jesus, I feel like I need miracles. What are the ones? So that you're really used to listening to him and following him specifically. So you will have that relationship where he can just reveal all the no's down there. And then when he gives you a prompt of something, as I've said, he's saying, I'm asking him, no, any armchair Jesuses? No armchair Jesuses. You have to follow the specific assignments that he gives too, that are for exactly to see through any kind of play that's limited. I'm asking him, does this necessarily mean a big life change? He's saying it may be helpful. It's not to be assumed. Nothing's to be assumed. See, the ego looks around and goes, well, Jesus is going to make me do this and all that kind of, see that for what it is. It's all mind noise. Your divine light, carrying the power of God. And as he was saying earlier today, he's reminding me, so spend time as light, meditating as light. Muji calls it marinating. It's a good word. Marinating is pure, unassociated light, dropping all thoughts, feelings, and emotions, all ideas. Just rest and just notice how you feel when all thoughts and feelings and emotions are dropped. So you can get used to being without them because they're not natural to you. You can ask them, Jesus, are thoughts, feelings, and emotions natural to me? Does the light have a little list in there? Here are the emotions and feelings that are natural to you. It doesn't. None of them are natural. Yeah, he's really focusing on yeah, those two things. Resting as light. You can do that while you're doing dishes, meditate. You know, there's this idea of what meditation is, that I have to go off in the woods. He says that's not going to help you. If you can't meditate as light while you're washing dishes, you can't do it anywhere else. You know, where you're in movement. And I know that was like a really big thing. I just want to be left alone to meditate. What'll happen with that? You'll be left alone and you'll engage in fantasy. Because the mind is so undisciplined. It's so undisciplined. You just see yourself float off into the nether regions of the universe. Another Star Trek episode will play in your head. I mean, he's saying none of it's bad. It's just see that you're dead when that's happening. I'm asking him, confirm, yes, you're just dead. That's the desire to be dead and unaware of infinite light. I'm asking him, so you can't have supreme happiness. Supreme happiness and mind wandering are not compatible. And I've told you how he's pointed out this habit of mind wandering. You'll see how insidious it is when you start watching your mind and observing the play. Several beings have commented on that. Yeah, I just see my mind just goes blank or it just floats, But you can ask Jesus, is this desired experience? Is this a desire to lose myself? The whole new meaning to the words lost in thought. I was lost in thought. Jesus, is getting lost in thought a desire to get lost from who we are? The desire for fantasy. Just see that no fantasy can ever bring you the love of the Father. That's what we don't want to see. You can ask him, Jesus, do I really not want to see that these fantasies won't bring me love? Do I really not want to see that these fantasies will never bring me the love of the Father into my awareness? He's just reminding me we're talking infinite happiness, infinite. This is totally, he's saying, outside your recognition. Obscured by this asteroid belt of thoughts and feelings and emotions. And until it's realized and admitted that happiness cannot be found there, those things will continue to appear. Thank you, Jesus, for leading us through this. Thank you for these holy joinings. The joinings are really beautiful. If you didn't have a chance to jump on today, it'll be up on, it's up on YouTube now. We'll just put a description in it and share it. And just see how gentle he is with everyone. The only time it's not gentle is when we indulge in an idea, in personal identity. It will never be gentle. You can ask Jesus. Can it ever be gentle? Is personal identity gentle in any way, shape, or form? And hear his answer. He would offer another way for us. Just a gentle little fireside chat. That's what he's offering. A little sit-down talk. So I'll really encourage everyone, if you haven't been jumping on the joining yet, jump. Is that his instruction for everyone? You can hear it. Ask him, Jesus, is this your instruction for me? To join with my brother? Is this the fastest means? The ego will make all kinds of excuses, why it can be done tomorrow, why I don't need it. Those are his, you can ask him now, he'll tell you those are his direct instructions. To jump on the calls and really look. And if you're not yet on our a New Covenant Messenger group, you're welcome to jump that. Many good joining partners there. And also the Spanish WhatsApp group are really starting to join now, if you prefer Spanish for joining. So thank you for joining us in holy purpose. Amen.